starting at $13.99 and back for a limited time.
You've got to try the softest sneaker ever. Hands-free, cozy fit Skechers slip-ins. Sneakers that are as soft.
Hello everyone, I am BowserJrXD. Welcome to the IAA and Ritchie Brothers 250 at Martinsville Speedway. Race 32 of 33 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2025. It's the penultimate race of the season at the final short track race for the final short track race of the season. Two drivers, Justin Allgaier, Connor Zilisch, are already locked into the final four just based on their giant points totals. Two other cars are locked into the Owners' Championship, the 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing and the 21 for Richard Childress Racing. Will the 7 and the 88 join them today, or will someone else win their way in and bump one of them out? And more importantly, I guess for the rest of the field, of the 6 drivers, even with one almost surely locked in, that being the 2 of Jesse Love, who's going to make their way into the final 4? Carson Kvapil currently sits above the cut line. And you can be sure that JR will be trying as hard as they can to get their 2 drivers, the 1 and the 8, Carson Kvapil, Sammy Smith, into the final 4, as unlikely as that will be. But we'll be 250 laps away from declaring a winner.
Going into Martinsville in a must-win, I'd kind of do anything to lock in.
My heart is pounding.
At the end of the day, if you win, you get a shot at a championship.
Obviously, I would do anything to race for a championship at Phoenix, and Martinsville provides a great opportunity for that.
It's like one of those conversations that you really have to have with yourself in Martinsville. What are the things you're willing to do? How are you going to go about it the right way?
Everyone has that mindset that we're going to do anything we can to win and punch our ticket to Phoenix and go win a championship.
An incredible finish at the paperclip.
It is a chilly short track Saturday night as the Xfinity Series takes on Martinsville Speedway to set the championship 4. Now, this week, Harrison Burton announced he will be moving to Sam Hunt Racing next year, but he and this AM Racing team still want to finish the year strong together. They got things off on the right foot earlier when Harrison went out and nabbed the first career pole for both himself and the race team. He is extra motivated at a track where he has a previous win. But if he wants to get the checkered flag tonight, he's going to have to go through Carson Kvapil, who starts alongside him on the front row. Carson has a ton of confidence here, and crew chief Andrew Overstreet told me he's seen a change in his driver's demeanor this past week, saying Carson's got his swagger back. This track's been good to him. Maybe he can finally nab his first career win, Dylan.
Well, Kim, there's been few better than Eric Almirola at Martinsville over the last year and a half. He swept the 2024 races. The spring race here didn't produce that result, and the difference maker tonight could simply be the lack of pressure on this team. They're in the Owners' Championship battle, already locked into Phoenix with the win at Vegas. So crew chief Seth Chavka said to me earlier, we're here to win and only win, so they can do whatever it takes to get it done tonight. Somebody else, though, who likely has to do whatever it takes to win starts right behind them, and that's Sheldon Creed. He rolls from 5th, lowest of the playoff cars on points, but as we said, near the sharp end of the field tonight after a good qualifying effort. He's finished 2nd here 3 times. Crew chief Jonathan Toney complimented his driver's finesse and feel for making speed at this racetrack, but he summed it up pretty well. Points don't matter for us tonight. It's all about winning. Time to go racing at Martinsville with 2 championship spots on the line. Let's get the command.
We've all been waiting for. Please welcome global auctioneer for Ritchie Brothers, Pat Hicks.
Oh, it's an auction
here
house.
To say the most famous words in motorsports. Take it away, Pat.
On behalf of Ritchie Brothers and IAA, drivers, start your engines.
Lame command, in my opinion. But here we go. 38 drivers ready to hit the track. The lone DNQ was the number 50 of Preston Pardis. Here is today's starting lineup. And of course, that was for Pardis Racing Inc., his own team. Starting 38th, driving the number 88 WeatherTech Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. 19 years old from Mooresville, North Carolina. Connor Zilisch, the first rookie in the field, and the first playoff driver, locked into the Final 4. Starting 37th, driving the number 32 Overplay Chevrolet for Jordan Anderson Racing. 24 years old from Concord, North Carolina, Austin Green. Starting 36th, driving the number 35, Macnica Toyota for Joey Gase Motorsports with Scott Austin. 48 years old from Nagoya, Japan, Takuma Koga. Starting 35th, driving the number 51, Spartan Waste, Fox Sports 98.3 Chevrolet for Jeremy Clements Racing. 40 years old from Spartanburg, South Carolina, Jeremy Clements. Starting 34th, driving the number 53, Piedmont Triad Insurance Ford for Joey Gase Motorsports with Scott Austin. 21 years old from Palm Beach Garden, Florida, Mason Maggio. Starting 33rd, driving the number 24, Syfovre Toyota for Sam Hunt Racing. 35 years old from Plantation, Florida, Patrick Staropoli. Starting 32nd, driving the number 45, Call811.com Chevrolet for Alpha Prime Racing. 32 years old from Port Charlotte, Florida, Josh Williams. Starting 31st, driving the number 14, Thermotech Chevrolet for SS Greenlight Racing. 33 years old from Ligonier, Pennsylvania, Garrett Smithley. Starting 30th, driving the number 26, Thompson Pipe Group Toyota for Sam Hunt Racing. 24 years old from Anaheim, California, Dean Thompson, the second rookie in the field. Starting 29th, driving the number 42, Routh ID Tag Chevrolet for Young's Motorsports. 26 years old from Ridgefield, Connecticut, Anthony Alfredo. Starting 28th, driving the number 07, Robin Hood Roofing Chevrolet for SS Greenlight Racing. 28 years old from Hollywood, Florida, Brad Perez. Starting 27th, driving the number 28, Night Owl Companies Ford for RSS Racing. 23 years old from Tucker, Georgia, Kyle Sieg. Starting 26th, driving the number 99, Viking Motorsports Chevrolet for Viking Motorsports. 26 years old from Charlotte, North Carolina, Connor Mosak. Recently, it came out that DeBenedetto stepped back because his wife had a double miscarriage. So, prayers to his family. Starting 25th, driving the number 71, Southern Elevator Chevrolet for DGM Racing with Jesse Rucci Motorsports. 22 years old from Ashburn, Virginia, Ryan Ellis. Starting 25th, driving the number 71, Southern Elevator Chevrolet for, 24th, driving the number 41, Audible Ford for for Haas Factory Team. 22 years old from Franklin, Wisconsin, Sam Mayer, the second playoff driver. Starting 23rd, driving the number 17, HendrickCars.com Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. 19 years old from Clovis, California, Corey Day. Starting 22nd, driving the number 10, Champion Container Chevrolet for Colleague Racing. 21 years old from DeLand, Florida, Daniel Dye, the third rookie in the field. Starting 21st, driving the number 2, Wheelan Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. 20 years old from Menlo Park, California, Jesse Love, the third playoff driver. Starting 20th, driving the number 70, Wilhelmina Chevrolet for Cope Family Racing. 20 years old from Colts Neck, New Jersey, Thomas Annunziata. Starting 19th. You're driving the number... Shite. Driving number 91, Sour Boy Chevrolet for GGM Racing with Jesse Wuji Motorsports. 30 years old from Charlotte, North Carolina, Myatt Snyder. Starting 18th, driving the number 48, Borchetta Bourbon Chevrolet for Big Machine Racing. 24 years old from Miami, Florida, Nick Sanchez, the fourth rookie in the field. Starting 17th, driving the number 31, Optawise Chevrolet for Jordan Anderson Racing. 25 years old from Bakersfield, California, Blaine Perkins. Starting 16th, driving the number 44, Toxic Waste Chevrolet for Alpha Prime Racing. 27 years old from the Woodlands, Texas, Brennan Poole. Starting 15th, driving the number 8, Pilot Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. 21 years old from Johnston, Iowa, Sammy Smith, the fourth playoff driver, and one of the two not in the Owners' Championship. Starting 14th, driving the number 18, Sound Gear Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 19 years old. No, hold on a minute. I got to update this. 37 years old from Holtzville, New York, Justin Bonsignor, replacing the concussed William Sawalich. Starting 13th, driving the number 54, Operation 300 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 20 years old from Artesia, New Mexico, Taylor Gray, the 4th rookie in the field. Starting 12th, driving the number 27, Norma Precision Ammunition Chevrolet for Jordan Anderson Racing. 33 years old from Halifax, Virginia, Jeb Burton. Starting 11th, driving the number 20, Menards Dawn Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 28 years old from Atlanta, Georgia, Brandon Jones, the 5th playoff driver. Now for the top 10. Starting 10th, driving the number 4, Handy Products Chevrolet for Alpha Prime Racing. 34 years old from Rhinelander, Wisconsin, Parker Retzlaff. Starting 9th, driving the number 16, Celsius Chevrolet. Hold on, did I miscount number of rookies? Zillage was 1st, Thompson 2nd, Dye was 3rd, Sanchez was 4th. Okay, Taylor Gray was the 5th playoff driver, I did. Starting 9th, driving the number 16, Celsius Chevrolet for Colleague Racing. 24 years old from Middletown, New York, Christian Eckes, the 6th rookie in the field. Starting 8th, driving the number 11, Campers Inn RV Chevrolet for Colleague Racing. 27 years old from Chesapeake, Virginia, Brendan Butterbean Queen. Starting 7th, driving the number 39, Syaps Ford for RSS Racing. 38 years old from Tucker, Georgia, Ryan Sieg. Starting 6th, driving the number 21, Global Industrial Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. 31 years old from Winston, Georgia, Austin Hill. The 21 is in the Owners' Playoffs. Starting 5th, driving the number 00, Friends of Jacqueline Foundation Ford for Haas Factory Team. 28 years old from Alpine, California, Sheldon Creed, the 6th playoff driver, and the highest starting of the 5 Fords. Starting 4th, wait, that's not, there should be, there's 6 Fords. Two from Haas, the one from Factory Team, the 2 from AM, the 2 from RSS, and then the 1 Gase car. Starting 4th, driving the number 7, Jarrett Logistics Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. 39 years old from Riverton, Illinois, Justin Allgaier, the 7th playoff driver. Starting 3rd, driving, also I realized that was not the highest starting Ford. For the 000 was not. Starting 3rd, driving the number 19, Young Life Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. 41 years old from Tampa, Florida, Eric Almirola, the highest starting of the 7 Toyotas, and another car that is in the Owners' Championship, Owners' Final 4. Starting on the outside pole, driving the number 1, Bass Pro Shops, Clarion Technology Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. 22 years old from Mooresville, North Carolina, Carson Quapple, the highest starting rookie, and the highest starting of the 8 playoff drivers, and the highest starting of the 25 Chevrolets. And on the pole, driving the number 25, Dead On Tools Ford for AM Racing, with a pole time of 19.843 seconds and an average speed of 95.429 miles per hour. 25 years old from Huntersville, North Carolina, the highest starting of the 6 Fords, it is Harrison Burton. That is our starting lineup for today's IAA and Ritchie Bros 250.
Onto the checklist here tonight. Let's do a little 8 radio pre-race.
Hey, buddy, it takes 2 flints to start a fire. Let's all stick together tonight and go burn this place down.
I like it, Richie. Let's do it.
All right, man, this is what we've come down to. You come in a race at your best track, and we know what you can do here. It's time to get that clock. It's time to punch our ticket to Phoenix. It's time to get this one-car victory lane.
Little pump up. That's what you need sometimes as you go into a battle like we're going to see here tonight, especially for those 2 teams and drivers who know what's on offer, the chance to go race for a championship. This is the thing you work for all season long, simply to have a chance. Here's in front of them tonight.
The one thing that I would want my crew chief to remind me of, and I would encourage all of them to tell these drivers all night long, is don't let your emotions get the best of you at the start of this. It's a long race. A lot's going to happen. We're going to have multiple restarts. If you get moved, just remember the big picture that we're racing for tonight.
See everybody coming off pit road. They did one more run down the pit lane to do a speed check. Make sure everybody's in a good place in that regard. You don't want to make any mistakes here tonight to take yourself out of contention. Kim?
Well, we've talked so much about the playoff drivers, but there's still a lot on the line for the guys outside of the playoff picture, including Brendan Queen. It's been fun to see what he's capable of in just a handful of Xfinity Series starts the second half of the season. In fact, just making his 4th start of the season here tonight, and it's his first Xfinity Series start here at Martinsville. But that does not mean he does not have a lot of experience here. He said this actually is the race he feels the most confident about so far that he's started in the Xfinity Series, and that's because he spent over 10 years straight racing here in late models. Not only that, he ran last night's Truck Series race, had a top 10 in that race. So the goal here is two straight top 10s for the weekend. So look for him to run top 10. He starts here 8th tonight, Dylan.
Kim, for Sam Mayer in the Haas Factory team number 41, they qualified 24th, and that is going to lead to some necessary fluidity on their strategy for the 41 and crew chief Jason Trincheri. He said, we're going to have to change up our game plan a little bit, having to start this far back, but felt like their car was plenty good enough in practice to drive through the field. One thing to watch with these guys, they've not been good in the rubber. As that lays down on the racetrack tonight, we'll have to keep an eye on how it affects the 41.
Stage points are big too, and where you qualify could dictate your strategy. With that, we take one more sneak peek at the points. We ride on board here with Jesse Love, plus 40. But when you qualify 21st, you want to take care of things. Stage points would be great for this race team. Could be hard to get there.
Don't have an issue here on the start. And one thing to mention, it's chilly here tonight, 47 degrees. All these drivers trying to work those brakes up to temp, those tires up to temp. You don't want to have a moment down to turn 1.
Zilich and Allgaier locked into the championship 4.
Here we go. Who's going to make it to Phoenix? Green, green, green. 250 laps at the paperclip. We're green at Martinsville.
Clean start there. Saw the 25. Harrison Burton a little bottoming out. That's from those low air pressures. Mentioned it's so cold here tonight. Could take 2 laps or so for these tires to get up to temp. Trying to get those brakes up to temp. And outside around for a couple laps. You're going to see everybody fight to get to the bottom.
Roll in the second. Waffle in third.
That fluorescent orange #1 car trying to get to the bottom. I think his teammate cut him a little bit of a break there. And that's one thing that will happen all night long. Whether it's teammates or just guys you've raced with. Some let in, some won't. You kind of know who that guy is. It gets harder and harder, though, as the race goes on.
Look at our bumper. Playoff drivers highlighted in blue. Drivers in green, Allgaier and Zilich, the ones that are already locked in, as we said, to next week's championship race in Phoenix.
Saw the 11 go in there and hit that inside curve. Almost got into the outside. The 21 of Austin Hill. Sammy Smith fighting for his life. No starter back in 15th. He's going to do all he can to get some stage points. The guy he's racing is Carson Quapla, who's all the way up in second. And he's in the right spot here, especially early on when cold temps like this descend upon Martinsville. It really becomes a bottom dominant racetrack. If you don't start to lay some rubber down how cold it is, he's on the bottom. If you're moving forward for Sammy Smith, that's exactly where you want to be. You might get checkups in the corner, but the bottom should prevail. And being on the outside like some of these guys, you're just trying to get down there as soon as you possibly can. Even if you have to give up a spot to do it, the bottom's going to be dominant early.
Playoff drivers tiptoeing through the field. On board Jesse Love. Sam Mayer trying to come with him in that black and green Ford. And in between, the 31, Blaine Perkins, fresh off his career best last Saturday at Talladega Superspeedway.
A little bit of contact right there as Mayer got into the back of Perkins. You see the 31 pull down, and I'm going to tell you, if you're a guy racing for your life in these playoffs, they're going to be more aggressive. And if you're a guy not in the playoffs, you got to know that coming into tonight. That it's not that you have to give them more room. You just have to know that they're going to make moves that they maybe typically wouldn't, knowing what's on the line.
Get a situational awareness, right?
Yep, get a look at this right here. It almost looked like the 31 was having to check up for Jesse Love in front of him. Really light contact right there from Sam Mayer.
Corey Day in the 17 made his debut in the Xfinity Series earlier this year. Right here at Martinsville, qualified 8th, had some problems, finished outside the top 20, but he has grown and gotten better and better as the season has continued. Young driver from California, 21st, right in front of Daniel Dye in that red, white, and yellow number 10.
We're starting to see the bottom sort of sort itself out. And some of that contact we saw there, Sam Mayer, and the checkups, that's a move where he got in the back of 31 that, to your point, Jamie, he maybe wouldn't make early on, but he knows he has to go. It's just go time every point of this race right now because he's got to try and get some points. That's a wheel hop right there. So unintentional contact right there. Corey locked the rear tires a bit, chased the car up the track, and got to Blaine Perkins. And you wonder if you're the 17 to explain to the 31 what happened right there, because there'll be a lot of intentional contact tonight, but when something like that happens, like you're like, please go explain to him exactly what I did. Not that it changes anything for him, but just a little bit of an understanding is, looks like the one
John struggling a little bit at the start of this race.
I mean, qualifies on the front row, slides down into third. Seems like everything's going to work out. But going in the wrong direction. Sheldon Creed gets by. Ryan Sieg passes. And so does the 11 of Brendan Queen. Brandon Jones, playoff driver, waiting in the wings.
Yeah, pay attention right here. This orange number 1, we talked about Carson starting second. Sammy Smith started all the way back in 15th. But as the ones lost a few spots, I want you to look at the top of your screen right here. You'll see the 8. Not a good qualifying run, but he's passed as many cars as anybody in this race, already up 4 spots.
And you think, too, about the different track conditions we're facing now compared to earlier. Temperature at green flag, 47 degrees. That's the 4th coldest ever for an Xfinity race right here at Martinsville. That's different than the sunshine and the warmer temperatures we experienced during practice and qualifying earlier today. Something to think about as the race goes on. Harrison Burton leads from the pole. Swept here last year is right in his hip pocket, and so is 2023 winner Justin Allgaier.
Going to the inside. Burton responds.
Comes
down. Oh! Burton's got a hole on the outside lane, but can he hold the lead off of 2?
Protect the inch of that corner. I've watched the 25, the last 2 laps. Watch that left front tire. You see the rotor's on fire. I've seen a lot of brake lock up out of the 25. That tells me he's having to overslow
side
the
by
car.
side.
Maybe it's not turning very well. Great to fight back on the outside like you did. But, yeah, you watch the car language of that 25, and it's just sort of moving around. It doesn't look comfortable under the brakes as much as you look at the 19, which looks super smooth and planted as he gets into the entry of the corner. Yeah, one thing to watch. I want you to watch the 19's entry into the corner. He's going to enter just a little bit higher, and it's hard to do this with the 7 being right behind you. But if you watch, when they go into turn 1 here, he's going to take a little later entry. He's going to try to set him up and then generate a run by turning down underneath him on exit. It's a timing thing here to make the pass. You don't always have to force it. Here he comes. Gets inside of him again. The 25 was able to defend the last time through here. I got to think that he's going to not racing quite as hard right here. 19 clearly being a little bit faster at this point in the race.
The other thing I noticed just visually on the 25, his left front brake rotor was glowing compared to the 19.
Inside.
He's using a lot of brake potential.
He's got
front
a
brake,
nose ahead. Entering 3, he's the new leader.
In the left front of that race car.
The defending winner of the Fall Martinsville race. Back at it again.
As you get the fronts too hot.
Harrison Burton starts on the pole, leads the first 16 laps. Most laps he's led in the race this year, but he's a runner-up right now, second to Eric Almirola.
Saw you were scoping out my tires the other day.
I need some new ones. I was going to ask you what those were.
Good eye. Those are Arturo tires.
Now we wait. We're back.
Halfway through our opening stage, Justin Allgaier is up to second. And some really good racing all around the track. We continue to talk about playoff drivers as you watch Eric Almirola starting to lap some cars. And I got to tell you what, you know, you saw it as we were side by side, and the fact that Almirola's out front, Allgaier to second, Burton to third. But it's the Junior Motorsports teammates, this is the race, Quapple and Smith, that is just going to be a dogfight all night long.
Yeah, Sammy Smith right here. He's caught Carson from way back, gives him a little shot in the bumper, but I've been impressed with a little bit of contact there, but the one's actually been able to drive a car length or two away. You see on the bottom right of your screen, the 8 knew how important it was to get by him. I'm wondering if the 8's maybe used up a little bit too much car trying to get to this point. We're only 30 laps in, and the laps go by really fast here, but inside of the car, when your balance gets off,
there's that car around.
You know,
Wyatt
this place
Snyder
produces
in the
cautions,
shower.
and we've got our first of the night, 91 Wyatt Snyder.
That was actually very helpful for Connor Zilic, who only made it up to 28th and was looking at possibly being in danger of going a lap down if this continued on. So we see here Wyatt Snyder and Nick Sanchez racing down into turn 1. We've seen wheel hop be a thing. Let's see how this...
well, I don't know. That looked like it's not much turn out of the 48 there. I think there was some frustration maybe from Sanchez.
Not sure if 48 went up the track there. Nonetheless, they connected, and Wyatt Snyder was the unlucky recipient of that one.
He was 23rd when he got turned.
Now we wait again. We're back.
If Sam Mayer stays out, he's going to restart inside the top 5 here, and that's going to be big for them as they chase stage points. And then you think about those drivers that came down pit road, and can they get back to the top 10 and grab some of those stage points here? This is going to be fascinating.
I think it's a big opportunity for Sam Mayer and their team to have taken this opportunity, because you have Sandy Smith and Carson Quapple back in 16th and 18th right now. Yes, they have newer tires, but truly it could be a question if they get to the stage points by the end of this stage. And if Sam Mayer gets those points, that's points that he gains on those two drivers.
Jesse Love riding here on the wheel and onboard camera, speeding on the pit lane. Let's get a little 2 radio.
Let's clean it up here. We got this. Okay, just let me know when I need to run out. I ran what I was told to run out of the pit stall. We're going to go to 3 green on exit, our straightaway speed.
So what he's referencing right there is that on the exit we see Connor Zilich having a little bit of damage right here. Oh, pretty good contact right there, and it's been a struggle.
Got hit by Alfredo.
All night long for the 88. See what he's got here
right,
on this restart. He's going to start third row outside.
Nick Sanchez got a speeding penalty as well. Front row for the restart here. Jet Burton, Brendan Queen takes that inside lane and jumps away to turn 1.
Oh, and Sam Mayer really
Jet Burton
aggressive
forced
there.
way out of the groove. Loses a couple
Jet Burton
positions.
right now.
7 of Justin Allgaier, the best running on the restart of those drivers
Right
that
behind
came down pit road.
Zilich.
But you got to manage
Behind
these guys.
Alfredo, goes way wide. Jet still stuck 3 wide. Burton Jones right behind
Martinsville.
Allgaier.
Brandon Jones in the top 10. He did make a pit stop. He needs stage points. Came in 20 below the cut line.
Yeah, and right here, look at the 8 car. You gotta be aggressive, but you also have to survive. You want to get up and get those stage points, but there's such a discrepancy in speed. That's Austin Green right in front of him. You see Sammy gets him a little shot right there. You can't get a tire cut down. You see so many guys get a left rear or right rear tire cut down when they're side by side here. But there's such a discrepancy in speed from those guys that stayed out versus the quicker cars that were up front that put tires on. It's a hard thing to manage as a driver. There's so much going on, so many decisions to make.
And look at the playoff points here. When you look at the standings, Love at plus 14 came in plus 40. He's lost so much track position after not qualifying great, and the penalty.
Zilich is now stuck 3 wide, trying to get around Alfredo.
To the good after staying
He'll get
out and
there.
getting some track
Zilich and
position.
Allgaier now in 7th.
Zilich is hung on the outside, doesn't have as good of tires. Andy's on the outside group, got damage to his car. You see Alfredo trying to get back inside of him.
Toyota onboard camera, riding with Brandon Jones. 8th and looking for more. Right behind Anthony Alfredo in the 42.
See him showing the nose right there. He gave Anthony a little bit of a shot. Are they going to do it again right here? And if you're Alfredo in front of him, you know that you don't have as good a car or good as tires, but you're like just fighting for your life.
And that little bit of drive-off difference right there that Brandon Jones had to Anthony Alfredo, and just peeked the inside. He knew he had the opportunity to get the position there. He'll clear it down into 3.
What about the 20, Dylan?
Well, they were going to rely on their pit crew from the start. Spoke with Sam McCauley, and he said, we need those guys today. They've been incredible this year. They just gained him about 5 spots in that pit road cycle. He pitted from 7th or 8th. They came out 2nd of these cars that have pitted, and they're on the move back to 7th right now in a good spot to score stage points. They've still got some work to do, but their plan is
by Daniel Dye for 4th.
together just as they drew it up.
The other thought is, I mean, you get stage points, and then when everything cycles through at the end of the stage, you've got the track position. You know this is really executing. Playoff drivers here. One is Quapple, came in above the cut. Sammy Smith just below, and they have been connected at the hip all night long as the caution waves this time for the 99 of Connor Mozak, and it comes out 15 to go in the stage.
And I was going to say it was a really big restart for through the restart, but then as you saw that congestion that happened just before we got this caution, they'd gotten right back together, those two cars.
Hi, Jimbo.
Free pass here goes to Myatt Snyder, who was turned around from 23rd, bringing out our first caution of the night. Look off the distance. We'll get your replay.
All right. Oh, looks like he just spun on his own, I think. Butterbean leading his first Xfinity laps, I believe. At some point, I might leave the screen to go cook some food.
I'll say it again now.
Your word, I can tell.
Well, the jackpot's gone up, so that thought process is exaggerated over what we experienced 1 week ago. Justin Allgaier having a good night. Already made his pit stop, third in line as we get ready for the chase. Here's 7 radio.
For Mexico City.
Yeah. It's hard because I know I'm locked, but I want the points, and people just keep racing. It's unbelievable, so yeah, it is what it is. I'm good.
Great advice from Eddie DeHunt, his spotter right there, to just preach that, because as a driver, it's easy to get lost in that moment, and Justin said it right there. We know
Verstappen
thinking rationally, but gosh, you just, as a driver, you want to go out and win everything, but big picture here. And for him, knows he's going to Phoenix. Don't make everybody mad and have to deal with that next weekend.
It's in your DNA. As a race car driver, every time you're behind the wheel of a race car, you're thinking, I want to be the fastest on track, I want to lead every lap, and I want to win every race. And it's odd at times to have to think about the bigger picture, but he is a champ for a reason. He's able to do that.
Talking about champs, the ARCA champ leading the race right now. Brendan Queen making his 4th start. Ran the truck race last night. Was top 10 here.
Super impressive. Super impressive by Brendan to be able to do this and get in that car and not be full time. He's had an amazing season and once again proven that he deserves to be here.
On the front row with Sam Mayer.
Here we go. Green
to go. Opening stage. Green
the second row got going a little earlier.
Great restart by Sam Mayer. He was really aggressive on the last one. How much will he try to squeeze that 11 car?
Yeah, you almost want to pinch that guy on the inside down to hit the inside curb, mess up his momentum just a little bit.
Back up an inside lane.
Getting with it outside
Smith
lane.
almost forced 3 wide.
He needs stage points.
Yeah, good gap right there to get down right behind Eckes. You see Eric Almirola in that 19 going to roll to the outside, take his chances.
Continues
Allgaier has 7 to go. He's staying on the inside lane. Queen holding on the inside.
The 11's loose on the inside of the 41.
And he got a little bit curved there on the exit. That gives momentum to Sam Mayer. And Sam's trying everything he can to squeeze that 11 down, not allowing him to get back to the throttle on exit. He wants this stage win. Sam's got to be careful, though. He talked about
Mayer almost clear.
Queen's
sending it into turn 3.
Intentionally, but you get that side-by-side contact on the exit of the corners.
This is going to be the key exit.
Make it right here, though. As you see, Allgaier's going to get to
clear.
the inside.
Allgaier's singing to the inside of Butterbean.
Mayer all clear for the lead. Here comes Allgaier for second inside of Queen.
Battling Almirola
you got to give props
fourth.
to Brendan right
Almirola
there.
gets it.
New to the series, getting put in a really awkward position and not trying to force it, making a mistake, spinning one of those guys out. Live and learn. Great job by him.
On the front
risk
tires.
that Sam Mayer ran is having an issue like that with a rookie driver like Brendan Queen, but it all worked out, and great move by Sam Mayer to get clear and into the lead.
And look at the playoff standings. Mayer from below the cut line goes to the race lead. That puts Love on the bubble at plus 15. You know, if you're Mayer and you stay out, you've got to go get stage points. Perfect scenario. Win the stage. Take full advantage of it.
Now here comes Allgaier to the inside of Sam Mayer on fresher tires in the 41. To the inside, side by side down the back stretch. 3 to go in stage 1. Allgaier shooting it into turn 3. He'll take the lead, coming to 2 to go. Almirola coming hard as well. To the inside of Butterbean for P3.
The more you race them, the more you run. Oh, you
Mayer misses the turn. Oh, almost hits the wall. He loses 3 spots.
Devastating among the drivers that are going to try and get by, and Jones needs the points as well. Allgaier leads. Spike for
Brennan
second
Jones
is on.
up to
Almirola
P4.
gets by Queen. Jones is going to be in the 4th position.
Last
and
lap
it's going to
of
be
stage
Sam
1.
Mayer dropping to 5th, 1 to go in the stage.
And he had let Justin go. He slotted in behind him. He was in a perfect
Dano
position.
Dye misses a turn.
Second in the stage, locks up the rears, which we've seen often this weekend. Loses all those positions back to 5th.
Justin Allgaier is absolutely a stage
will win stage 1. Almirola second, Butterbean third, 4th goes to Brennan Jones, 5th Sam Mayer, 6th Connor Dillon, 7th
in all those restarts with Sammy Smith. He worked his way up almost inside the
10th is Corey Day. Wow. So let me use this to... let's see. Ryan Ellis is leaving DGM Racing. Okay. Okay. Jones received 7 points. Mayer got 6 points. Creed got 2 points. Love is plus 30. Quapple is plus 11. Smith is minus 11. Jones is minus 13. Mayer is minus 16. Creed is minus 39 as they run. What's up? What's up? Please don't mention that. Apparently Jesse Love was speeding on pit road. But now we wait for pit stop.
Brought to you by Ariat. When you're thinking boots and jeans, you're thinking Ariat. Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. And by Bristol Myers Squibb. Stage 1 complete. Let's get to Progressive Pit Road. Here's Dylan Welch.
And Sam Mayer will make a pit stop. His feedback just a little bit loose laterally, and as the track starts to lay rubber, the car is shearing across that rubber in the back. So they'll make an adjustment here. They pitted, or they were 18th on that cycle there before the stops started. So we'll see kind of where they cycle out here, Kim.
And you see on the left side of your screen the 11 of Brennan Queen. He said fired off too tight but manageable, no adjustments. Right side of the screen, his teammate Christian Eckes making a chassis adjustment, a little bit slow there on the right front, but he said something seriously wrong with the front end, really bad on exit, completely disconnected on exit. They didn't make that chassis adjustment.
Sam Mayer on exit, got the stage points, but he'll lose all that track position. So many cars staying out that had pitted there prior to the end of the stage. Justin Allgaier will be the man out front when we come back for stage 2.
Bipolar 1 can overwhelm your mind. Sometimes depressive lows and unpredictable highs can make it hard to get out of your head. Finding relief may help you break through.
Yeah, so I'm working on, right now, I'm working on a set of videos for next weekend, each corresponding, I mentioned in my YouTube, in my community post, 3 videos for each for a team with 100+ wins, some of which have had lots of requests for. The truck video will be on Kyle Busch Motorsports, the Xfinity video will be on Richard Childress Racing, and the Cup video will be on the Wood Brothers. And at some point, I also need to make videos on Renry Motorsports because they're done, as well as Bill McAnally Racing hitting 100 wins in ARCA West. That one I started, but I procrastinated on. Those three operations have a combined 303 victories. RCR is one of the four main bushwhacking teams.
Mayer gets right up behind him, pushes him out of the way.
Well, that's frustrating for Jeb. He's obviously getting a restart on the front row and got used up. He definitely is going to feel that way by Sam Mayer. And I think as we take a listen to what he had to say on the radio, we'll hear his frustration.
Yeah, you can go ahead and tell the 41 he's done. His day's done when I get to him. Him and his championship. He's done.
The 41 would be,
so that's most likely right after that happens. And a lot of times you cool down, right? You get a little, get a restart, get a caution. It'd be interesting to see when the 41 gets back around him if Jeb's still as mad as he was when he keyed the radio button.
I mentioned that Jeb Burton yet to make a pit stop. Alfredo restarting in the top 10 is not pitted. Connor Zilic, who started in the back after not qualifying, has not made a pit stop. He restarts fourth outside of row 2. Front row, two guys that came down the pit lane at lap 34. All there inside of Brandon Jones. Here we go, second stage.
It'd be really interesting. A car on the outside, Brandon Jones in the yellow 20. That's his teammate, Eric Almirola, in front of him. Does one let the other in? Sometimes your teammate on the inside. It looks to me like the 19's fighting pretty hard. We'll see if the 20 can get to his outside and get a little bit. Does he cut him a little bit of a break right here? Yeah. You'd hope. Gonna let him in. Yeah, and I think that's all fair because what happens is the reason guys do that, obviously it's your teammate, but the roles will be reversed at some point later in the race, and you'll be like, hey, you remember that restart on stage 2 or start of stage 2? Maybe they let you in.
Deposits and withdrawals, right? I mean, and we know drivers have long memories, especially when it comes to a place like Martinsville.
I can't believe the 88 has stayed out this whole time. And look, at the beginning of this race, he didn't pass anyone. We thought him starting in the back that he would drive right up through the field, but he wasn't able to pass anyone. Restarted that last restart on 30-some lap older tires and was a little bit off for a few laps, but has been able to hang on really well. You see Harrison Burton trying to work the inside of him, but Connor's been able to hang on really well on older tires.
And look at that left front damage that he got when that caution came out. That's the same spot that they damaged earlier in the day when they got into the wall in practice and sort of split apart right there, where the nose sort of meets the top portion and the bottom portion of the nose. And so you don't want to make that worse. That's one of the things that Connor in the spring race earlier this year, he was super fast but got put back in the pack and damaged that race car coming back through the pack. And Sheldon Creed he didn't let him in.
Creed giving the bump and run of the 88. Creed is the lowest in points right now.
Sir, I know you're on older tires. Oh, like you're holding us up a little bit. Oh, Sheldon's loose on entry on the brakes.
Did you see his hand there?
Leading
Colby's
a bit.
number one. Well,
Double zero
everyone
leading
sprints.
on Zillett.
What about the one car? It's been a kind of a struggle, and all of a sudden, seems like that car's getting a little bit better as the race goes on. They were way off, way too tight, made some adjustments. It didn't seem like they were where they needed to be, but on these tires, as they've cycled, he's just not going to let you go, Sheldon. He got there by moving him, and the 88's now going to race him hard as he can.
There's a lot of ways to send a message, and one of them is just squeeze that inside car as much as you possibly can, and that's exactly what Connor's doing. It doesn't mean you have to hit each other to send a message. Sometimes it's just not giving them the space to race.
Playoff drivers going at it. Zillett locked into Phoenix. Creed needs to win if he's going to run for a championship. Carson Quapple comes in plus 11. Stage 1, as Jamie said, a little shaky right now. He's at plus 3 and riding back there in the 7th position. And now left side of your screen, battle for the race lead.
Jones is trying to win his way into the final four.
Jones is right there. Boy, how storybook would this be for Brandon Jones to walk it off and go run for a title.
And the one thing to watch, and I mentioned this earlier, watching cars try to pass, it was the 19 trying to go for the lead.
3 years ago,
when you're the car behind, the way you set up the pass here is to get all the way inside of them, or you enter just a little bit wider. See how he's a little bit wider here? He's going to try to time this out where he turns down. It takes a few laps, though, and you've got to hope that car in front of you is doing the same thing over and over again. You're just trying to get the timing down to get that pass made.
I feel like Sheldon Creed is ahead of schedule. Their stage performance hasn't been great in the playoffs. He's up to 5th after getting by Connor Zillett. Carson Quapple gets by now. The 1 is in 6th. And Taylor Gray, 54, driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. So strong here in the springtime. Got a good car tonight. The rookies are going at it. Back to the battle for the lead. A bunch of veterans here.
Still all over the 7.
Jones and now Almirola part of the scene.
Let me back up. There's multiple ways to pass here. The other way is to run into him just a little bit, move him up the racetrack. He's trying to do it the right way, the way you do it early in the race. Brandon Jones has a great car tonight, and Allgaier's doing all the right things to stay in front of him.
And you saw his right hand go down there, make a little adjustment to the brake bias. You'll do that, especially when you're following a car as closely as he is to Justin Allgaier, trying to continue to keep the pace in that race car. Make small adjustments to it. You do that with your line. You'll do that with the brake bias, and you also do that with your right foot. You talk about trying to get that drive off. Sometimes it's about taking care of those rear tires. They're better at the end of this run. Watch this battle right to your screen. 39 lines, 17 is Corey Day.
Down the back
They're getting after it.
What a good recovery drive there for Corey Day to hold on to the
okay,
spot.
I'm sorry. I'm going to let you slide back in here.
Well, sometimes you get into somebody, you let them go, and you're like, we're even. I want you to forget what just happened. We're all even now.
Really impressed with Corey Day, one of those drivers that came down at lap 34, flipped the stage, gained some track position, got a fast race car. Driving for Hendrick Motorsports, an organization that has such a storied history here at Martinsville at the Cup level.
You see Ryan Sieg. I would say he was there. Probably a little bit late on the brakes. Maybe they told Corey at the last second. But you got to give Sieg credit because...
Well, I would say he was sort of there. The way that works in a turn 1 is the predominant line is to sort of do what Corey was doing. It gives you the opportunity by the behind car to sort of shortcut to the inside. It's not the best way to enter that corner, and it can get awkward there because that outside driver thinks he's sort of clear at that point and is committed to the corner. The inside driver is going to get there at the worst possible point.
I'm going to roll it to the inside of Jones.
To get off the exit at turn 4. See how hard Brandon races him.
Almirola is the defending winner at Martinsville from the fall of last year.
The handling's going away on that 20. He's not in a must-win situation. He wants to get as many points as he can. But this is a situation where I talked about on that restart where Eric let Brandon get in. When you get to this point, you're like, okay, you did me a favor, I'll do you a favor. Dylan, you have more of the 20
now. Yeah, let's give you a Toyota driver update on Brandon Jones. Just want to go back to the quote that Sam McCauley, the crew chief, told me earlier today. Said, we're going to tweak on the balance a little bit before the race and pick a few off in stage 1. They've done that. Just wants to pick up the throttle a little bit better. Have great pit stops. We told you earlier they've already done that. Then they want to be top 3 by the end of stage 2 and then go race for it. They're on their way to that too. So, and Jamie, you mentioned it. They don't feel like this is a must-win, but you must have an aggressive mindset. They know they can win here. The car is good enough. They've just got to keep themselves in the hunt. They've done it so far.
Caution out, 4th one of the night.
Well, I mean, he said he was
point of stage 2, and it's for the 27 of Jeff Burton. Was running 23rd, and is still yet to make a pit stop.
Got the left rear down
Flat
here.
tire, apparently.
So you can see right there. A lot of left side damage. There's been some contact for sure on the left side.
Did he actually try to spin Mayer?
Martinsville
Mayer is outside the top 25
What's the old short track
right
saying?
now.
The left side's beat up, you're going backwards. The right side, you're going forward. So
flat tire.
Looks like possibly already had that left rear going down.
Yeah, we didn't see the straightaway before that if there was some contact. He's lucky, though.
Yeah, you can see it.
All right, so, well, there we go. Yeah, that thing is falling apart.
this get us down here. We've got to clean it up, everybody. We got to clean it up here.
So, well, there's just a lot of frustration, right? I mean, they came in here 40 points up. All they had to do is just have a clean night, and it's been anything but that so far.
Top 10 stayed out. Allgaier restarts 11th after winning the battle off pit road. Front row here as we hit lap 39.
There we go. Green. Waffle, they're going to run to the inside. Can he hold the lead?
Strategy going to go for these stage points. He wants to see these next 22
laps to see if they can hold on for
those
extra
other
points.
cars who have pitted.
Allgaier was able to work his way back to the field to get to the lead, to get 10 stage points for the winning the stage. Can he do it again?
Kind of like last time, trying to get some stage points.
Carson Quample's best friends are all these cars between him and those new tires right now. He's going to try and run off and hide best that he can as you look his teammate Sammy Smith in a gaggle of cars here. There's 3 wide out of 2 right there. Yeah, Garrett Smithley struggling to keep the pace. You see Corey Day getting into the back of him right there, trying to get him worked up off the bottom.
And look at the bumper. Laps since last pit stop. Anthony Alfredo is 4th. He is yet to make a pit stop tonight. Incredible effort by the 42. Trying to hang on to it for another 20 laps and get to the end of the second stage.
Sam Mayer and Nick Sanchez going at it right here. Now the back of Brandon Jones's car. It's his teammate Justin Allgaier right behind him. It's important for him to be in front. I feel like these guys have had top 2 or 3 cars. And Creed making it 3 wide with Ryan Ellis right there. It's so hard not to force that issue. But this track, it's not impossible. It's extremely hard to run 3 wide because of the rubber that builds up on the top.
I mean, you have cars backing up like Ryan Ellis is right there.
Up to
It can get really congested, and that's when big issues occur here at Martinsville because it just sort of gets the timing off on the entry of the corner, the roll speed through the center, and it can cause those accordion effects that we see often at Martinsville down in the braking zones. That's why you see a move like that to go 3 wide. It's just to get away from that
not able to make that happen. Just goes back in 33rd.
That someone's stuck up there and who it is, so you can try to set yourself up for that multiple laps later and not get yourself put in a bad position.
I want to take us back to that last restart. We talked about the penalty for Jesse Love, so you drop to the rear.
Another penalty?
And watch what happens on the restart. This is bizarre. Almost gets away from him.
Yeah, keep an eye on Takuma Koga here on the inside. He's going to hit the curb and go up the racetrack almost into Jesse Love. Jesse's thinking, what's going on here?
Inside.
Wow. All right, I'm just going to turn left.
There's the 7.
But that's the price you pay.
Yes,
when you
don't want to be back there.
And you lose the track position.
Well,
it's an uphill climb all night long.
He's got to hope they get all that out of the way. If they make it to Phoenix, they don't have any of that when they get to Phoenix and hopefully get to race for a championship next weekend.
Racing for position here. This is 4th on track. Mayer 41, 42, Anthony Alfredo. And remember, Alfredo on those older tires just doing a masterful job to hang on to that race car. Sanchez lined up behind him. And then those drivers that made pit stops last time. Leading that group, 7 Allgaier. You got Taylor Gray who made a pit stop at lap 93. Brandon Jones were riding here. These are all drivers basically racing for positions at the front once everything cycles through. At the end of this second stage, we're 13 laps away.
Anthony Alfredo has done an exceptional job, and it's going to open up the eyes to all these crew chiefs to look at what's our strategy going to be for the rest of the race, because a lot of times you don't know what the tire fallout's going to be based on practice. It's gone in tonight. Track, it looks like there's some rubber getting laid down, but the lap time just isn't falling off, and it's obviously
Allgaier setting it on Sanchez.
88 earlier in the race, but Anthony's done an exceptional job to not get freight trained when he gets pushed up into the outside lane, and looks like he has a great car tonight.
Super impressive. And it's super cold tonight, and usually that means that tire wear won't be as big an issue, but it's been surprising to see the amount of rubber that is laying down, and drivers still talking about it on their radios. But obviously these tires have a lot of longevity in them as you look at what Anthony Alfredo's been able to do here.
And notes are no doubt being made on the pit boxes as you watch what he's able to do on these older tires, and you map out a plan for that final stage.
Now fifth on Alfredo.
And your tires there.
Oh, Brandon Jones.
Then going to
a late move. I looked like Sanchez was going to come down.
Jones to the inside of Sanchez as well.
Back of that
Taylor
car
Gray's going to work
dancing.
past Alfredo.
Taylor Gray getting to the inside of Alfredo. This is what I was talking about earlier, where Anthony's done a good job of when he gets worked up into the outside lane, look at that, is able to carry good momentum off the corner and get himself right back in the line.
10 to go in the stage, and when you look at Allgaier, you look at Gray, Brandon Jones, Eric Almirola, they're racing for the top 4 positions once everything cycles through. So you want to make some passes here, maybe get some stage points, but you also want to make sure you take care of your race car and you have that track position and are in a good spot when we get the green flag in that final stage.
This is a great perspective from the Toyota onboard of Brandon Jones. Look at the brake rotors. We always talk about the front brake rotors glowing. You can actually see the right rear brake rotor glowing on the inside of Anthony Alfredo's car. The left rear is glowing. Honestly, like, it's great to see all 4 of those working as well as they are. It's a balanced car.
Way back
like night racing. Yeah, you can see some visual things.
And we talk about those drivers that have made their pit stop and in position to sneak through with track position. Add to the list 00 Sheldon Creed, who would be 5th in line of that group. You think about everything that's on the line for him as a playoff driver. They don't care about points tonight. They know they have to win if they're going to make it to Phoenix, and he's doing what he does here, put himself in position late.
And on the counter side of that, exactly what Carson Kvapil is doing in the lead right here. This is incredibly important if he's able to win this stage. Yes, it might bury him track position-wise, but these points will be huge. Remember, came into this race 11 points above the cut line. To get a stage win could all but help him in a massive way to be able to have a way easier stage 3 and to get to the championship 4 in Phoenix.
So much to think about when it comes to points, but the guy he was racing at the beginning of the night, the 8 of Sammy Smith, who right now is outside the top 10, will most likely not get stage points here, but he's going to inherit some track position over the 1 when everything cycles through. Smith was last on the pit lane at lap 93.
It's been a huge turnaround, though, from the first 30 laps of this race. The 1 car was backing up. I thought he was in trouble. I'm like, I don't know that you're going to be able to get that car better. And it seemed like the 8 was going forward.
Being challenged by Taylor Gray for
laid down, we've gotten some longer runs. The 1 obviously on a little different strategy. He's done an exceptional job.
And this is basically the battle for the race lead as we wrap up the stage and everything cycles through. Taylor Gray wants control of this race. Here he comes to the
Great at Martinsville, hasn't been able to put it together in the series. He's done it. Maybe tonight's the night that he sets himself up for the latter half of the race.
What we saw in the sprint,
Taylor Gray makes the pass.
How many laps he led there, was in position down the final corner to win that race. Obviously has a lot of speed once again here at Martinsville.
And Gibbs in general, exceptional tonight. You talking about Taylor Gray getting in the right position. You see right on board with Brandon Jones, another JGR car, and right behind him is their other teammate, Eric Almirola. So all those Gibbs cars, as this race gets closer to the end, you see them all moving to the front.
Final lap, stage 2. Carson Kvapil leading laps for the first time since Atlanta back in June. Going to come back to the green and white checkered flag. He'll deliver.
Here comes Kvapil on 4. Wins stage 2.
Second stage win of the campaign.
Brett Butterbean third.
In Mexico City.
So Butterbean second, Eckes third, Mayer fourth, Taylor Gray fifth, sixth Justin Allgaier, seventh is Brandon Jones, eighth Eric Almirola, ninth Sheldon Creed, and 10th is Anthony Alfredo.
Takes control when everything cycles through. So much pressure.
All righty. Mayer got 7 points. Four. Okay. Mayor has tiebreaker. Missionaries that I found. It's the payday car. All right, we're back. Oh, whoa!
Back. This was right in front of him.
Damn! Daniel Dye with a massive save.
He is just, and look at all this danger. Look at all the fluid on the camera, everything in front. Right in the stage finish
has been something else. He's faced it all.
We'll clean the fluid up, open pit road when we return. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series on CW.
Near disaster for Jesse Love there. Can't eat on the beating of the keyboard. It's one of the most annoying things. I know. I'm sorry.
And I'm feeling good.
Vacations will never be the same. Welcome to the 4 parks of Universal Orlando Resort.
Where are my contacts? Maybe you should keep your eye on the road, Janice. I have to be able to see first flow, take driving very seriously. Yeah, well, that's what Progressive Snapshot is for. Personalized discounts so that safe drivers don't have to pay for bad drivers' mistakes. Are you saying I'm a bad driver? I'm a great driver. Janice! This isn't Mom's house. I have a date. We're celebrating your birthday. Oh, I love that for you.
So how did these three end up in this Vegas speakeasy with a story no one will believe? It began with ringside seats from BetMGM. That meant anything was possible. Like chatting with this guy, not that guy, this guy, who knew another guy who gave them a password that led down here, through here, and along here. Oh, not here. And helped them open this door. Actually, a bookcase with a hostess named Jules and an epic spot. Make it a night where anything can happen. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
CW Sports Weekend continues as the PBR Teams Championships continue from Las Vegas. Then tomorrow, the PBR Team Series crowns a champion. CW Sports Weekend brought to you by Ariat continues next on the CW. It's cool, but it's a beautiful night here in Martinsville, Virginia. Martinsville Speedway hosting the NASCAR Xfinity Series final race in the round of 8. Who's going to Phoenix to run for the championship? Been a good night for Carson Quapple. Played a little strategy, wins the second stage. Got to believe he's going to be on pit road when it opens. Some of those drivers behind him, you know, you felt like conventionally, yes, they would come. Been getting reports Sam Mayer may stay out here, and some of those drivers that had already made pit stops prior to the end of the stage you think will stay out as well. But so much to break down as we go throughout the rest of the night from a strategy standpoint. We'll see how it plays. For now, let's get an update from Dylan Welch.
Well, Adam, we want to bring awareness to a good cause going on tonight. October is recognized in the U.S. as Spina Bifida Awareness Month. That literally means split spine. It's a birth defect that occurs in the womb when a baby's spinal cord does not close all the way. And lifelong NASCAR fan Richard Jenkins is one of those affected. He's a big advocate for awareness. He's an honorary crew member for Sammy Smith's team this week, and you see him here pre-race. His name is on the right side door of this race car, and he got to spend some time with Sammy earlier today. If you haven't seen the video on the NASCAR social channels, I encourage you to do so. Sammy, Kelly Earnhardt-Miller, Steve Phelps, Martinsville track president Clay Campbell surprised Richard with the news of his crew member status. Really cool stuff, and he's a great NASCAR fan, great supporter, and great to have him here at the track today.
You said it, the video was moving. I encourage everyone to go check that out. Progressive Pit Road is open. Quapple and others making their stops as we wrap things up in Stage 2. Kim?
And a big Stage 2 for Carson Quapple, who wins it, banks those 10 points going towards making that championship 4 spot. He said so tight. He's been tight this entire race. So tight, in fact, he can't get the car pointed how he wants it. So Andrew Overstreet, the crew chief, said we're going to do a major chassis adjustment. You see the wrench going in the back of the race car right there. 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. Brendan Queen on the right side of your screen. He said it just snapped free all of a sudden. I did not have enough right rear security. They did make an air pressure adjustment to correct that.
You know, we were just talking here about the Queen pit stop. He was really close to being out of his pit box there when he made the stop. If he is penalized, he would drop to the rear as you pay your debt to NASCAR. But I would also say that there were so many drivers that stayed out, he wouldn't have to drop back very far. What'd you notice here, Parker?
Well, Carson Quapple was sitting there for a long time there, and I think they got the wrench stuck in the right rear. They were trying to make those adjustments. Kim mentioned how tight he's been. They've done a lot of adjustments on this race car, especially with the track bar and wedge, which you can do within the right rear. You're going to see this wrench. Then he goes to the next hole, and it gets stuck. So they have a slower stop here.
Looked like they did wedge the first round. They tried to do the track bar maybe and couldn't get it.
Yeah, now he goes back over.
Oh, they're going to take their time to do it.
Okay, there you go. So basically they felt like maybe the stop was so slow, and you see this crew member struggling.
Yeah, the adjuster's like bound up right there.
Yeah.
One of
the 17 cars that made a pit stop, Kim.
Yeah, they didn't quite get the full adjustment they wanted. Crew Chief Andrew Overstreet came on the radio and said, we didn't want to leave you with just a quarter of adjustment, knowing how bad you needed the car freed up, so elected to keep them a little bit longer to make sure they got the full adjustment before sending him back out.
They also wanted to make the point, the 18 made a pit stop there. Justin Bonsignor was on the pit lane in for William Sawalich, who's dealing with concussion symptoms after a crash last week at Talladega. We send our well wishes to William. Hopefully we'll see you for the season finale next weekend at Phoenix. And now we go to the CW Garage and Carla.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. And, of course, a good time after that pit stop to take a check-in on the Bristol-Myers Squibb playoff standings and how things are running right now. If Sam Mayer continues to be the leader, of course, he's going to be locked into the championship four. Jesse Love would be as well, and Carson Quapple, Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, Sheldon Creed would be out. Also, a great reminder that if you're going to stay up with us for the third and final stage, you might want to grab a snack or a coffee because the hotline is on as we head into the final stage. Be sure to stay tuned for the Winter Burnout presented by Krispy Kreme and learn how Krispy Kreme can help you fuel up on Monday.
I saw Carla importing those donuts earlier today.
Yeah, I say that. She had her eye on them all night.
This is the best marketing ever. To have good Krispy Kreme donuts sponsor the donuts. How did it take this long? I know when we did this last week, I'm like, my God, marketing genius. I love it. Their coffee would be good right now.
Yeah,
for some of
anything
warm.
Yeah. I don't know. One of those hot dogs. I mean, coffee's good, but
don't say hot dog. No, we're talking about donuts. You're not going to talk about a hot dog.
No, the coffee's good.
Oh, he was definitely
donut.
Okay.
Just warms me up as well. You know,
you're going to go with a hot dog. Like, no.
Hey, how about this? Sam Mayer stays out. Now, we were talking about drivers that had made their pit stop, and we thought everything would cycle through. Mayer realizes the situation he is in. Not a lot of tire wear. He stays out. 41 in control of this race. Final stage coming at Martinsville. And this is when things get live.
Great launch right there by Sam Mayer. Hopefully can clear the 54. Down here in turns 1 and 2. And the 54 might get down behind him. Be a great move. Try to move him off the bottom. Got that gap.
Didn't quite want to go there.
Oh, there it is.
There he goes. He slots in right ahead of Justin Allgaier. I think he thought about trying to stay out there knowing he has a bit of a tire advantage. We don't think tires are worth a ton tonight in these cold temperatures, but still probably wanted to see if it was possible to go around the outside. He slots in behind.
And Gray missed that corner. Drove down in there, and you got to think maybe didn't have enough heat in his tires, but missed turns 1 and 2 and allowed the 7 to get inside of him. And you see right there in front, 7 did get inside of the 54. And now Eric's going to follow him through in the 19. 54's got to work hard to get back down to the bottom.
Sam Mayer's loving this. Look at the gap he's put on these guys, knowing his tire situation and his point situation. He loves to see them all side by side behind. Set sail.
Look at our bumper in the top 10, littered with playoff drivers. So much on the line for those drivers highlighted in blue and green. Green for Allgaier because he's locked into the Champ 4, but all those others need to find their way to a good finish so they can have a chance to run for a championship. Some of them need to get to victory lane tonight.
And Parker mentioned Mayer loving this. He's running 2 to 3 tenths a lap quicker, and what that really is going to buy him is not having to get the brakes really hot, not sliding the back of the car. We've heard all these guys talk about being too loose on entry. He can run these decent lap times, and as long as those guys run side by side, he's going to continue to build a little bit of a lead and be able to manage his race.
And on the bottom right here, stream, look at Jesse Love and Carson Quapple. Carson Quapple goes from winning the stage to being back here in 24th right now in just serious 2x2 traffic, trying to work his way forward. This is where you have to be so patient, so smart, not to abuse that race car too much. Don't get a tire cut down. You eventually think you'll work your way forward, but you got to be smart here.
Jesse Love's nerves are going to be shot when this is over. He has had an adventurous day. The pit stop issues. And the 54 goes up the track. You see all those guys getting inside of him right here.
Teammates right here, Brandon Jones, Taylor Gray, both drive for Joe Gibbs Racing.
We'll have to go back and look at that and see, did Allgaier get loose underneath him? Did he wheel hop on the entry of the corner? Those guys had run side by side for multiple laps. Get a look at this right here. You know what? It almost looks like what happened to Mayer earlier. It's like Gray pulled down to get in behind him, and then when they got on the brakes, he had to get on the brakes brakes harder than he wanted to.
You see the puffs of smoke. That's just a little bit of brake lockup. It seems like the rears got a little locked. He went up the racetrack just a bit, and that can happen when you go from the outside to try to get down to the bottom. The car is all unsettled. It sits awkwardly when you hit the brake. It's not as settled as it normally would be on a particular normal lap, and therefore the car can get out of shape, and that's what happened to him.
Ryan Sieg having a good night. 39 looking inside of the 8 of Sammy Smith. This for 6th on track.
Sieg's having a great night. Every time we go to him, he's passing somebody. He's going the right direction. Had a great night. We saw him have a little bit of contact with Corey Day earlier in the race, but yeah, easy pass right there on the 8 car and going on.
Well, that team needs it. I mean, they had the DNF last Saturday at Talladega. They were top 10 at Las Vegas. That was their first top 10 since Iowa back in August. So this team really did not have a strong finish to the regular season. Missed out on the playoffs, hoping to finish 2025 with some momentum. Taylor Gray not giving it up. And now we flash back to these playoff drivers that have compromised their track position. 2 is Jesse Love. 1 is Carson Quapple. And they're racing with the non-playoff driver. That's the 16, Christian Eckes, you saw in front of him. Won both truck races here a year ago.
You heard Jesse Love lift off the throttle there and just let Carson Quapple go to slot in behind him. Since we last saw these guys, we mentioned Carson Quapple was in 24th. He's now 22nd, working on 21st. This is how hard it is to drive to the field. This is the car that won stage 2, but it's spot by spot. It's one at a time that you work your way forward here, and it can be incredibly tough to make up that track position.
And I would say this too, as you look at the standings and you see Quapple at minus 17, 18, don't freak out. Because the reason he's that far below the cut line after coming in plus 11 and winning a stage is because Mayer is leading this race from below the cut line. That shoves everything down. If something changes at the front, and we know the guys behind Mayer have fresher tires, that will allow Quapple to cycle through on the leaderboard. He just needs to be patient back there. And right now he's behind 3 wide. 10 is Daniel Dye, 42 Anthony Alfredo, 11 Brendan Queen.
That hit the curb. Going to lose all of his momentum. Now it's going to put Carson in a terrible position, 3 wide.
And these are all rookies. You got to take care of it if you're Carson Quapple, and somehow he gets through there without getting any damage.
Had good momentum off the corner. He's able to get back down in front of Christian Eckes. And they've done a really good job on the 1 car. But just really impressed from where the 1 started to where he is. Look at these guys, 3 wide. You see Alfredo on the inside.
They were door slamming, and for how bad this all looked, and then you get a little bit of bumper tag here. That puts Daniel Dye in the curb. Carson's trying to get below him, couldn't do that. I feel like this did work out the best it possibly could.
Ugly.
Considering how bad it looked. Yeah.
And look at this for second. Justin Allgaier under attack. Almirola goes through. His teammate Taylor Gray is bouncing back. He's going to get a spot. Brandon Jones says, let's make it 3 from JGR. Not so fast. 7 slams the door shut.
You got to do the 54. He's really good. The fact that he lost those positions and now has been able to drive back up through there and pass a couple of really good cars. This thing runs green. That 54 is no doubt. Look at how fast he is right there through the middle of the corner on his teammate, Eric Almirola.
NASCAR Xfinity Series raced here in 06. Didn't come back till 2020. 10 races in the last 5 years at this place. 6 of them won by Joe Gibbs Racing. They got 3 in the top 5 tonight.
With Straight Talk's real unlimited data, say yes a lot more.
Can we call Grandma? Yes.
Yes to unlimited video calling.
Oh, hi, sweetie. Oh, this one would look so...
Yes to unlimited gifting.
Yes.
With Straight Talk, say yes to unlimited holiday moments.
No.
Let the yes-tivities begin.
Yes.
Switch now for plans starting at $25 a month on America's most reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, official partner of NASCAR. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day.
Allgaier's in 4th. Okay. Well, Almirola and Taylor Gray have passed Sam Mayer. And Almirola leading in the latter half of the race here at Martinsville, looking to make it 2 in a row in the fall race. It also means he will have won 3 of the last 6 races here in the series.
.90 laps to go. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing in Martinsville, Virginia. Aerial coverage provided by the Lucas Oil helicopter. Eric Almirola now in the race lead. Teammate Taylor Gray came with him. They were able to get by Sam Mayer, who is on older tires. Allgaier, Ryan C. complete the top 5. And other playoff drivers inside the top 10 now. Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, and Sheldon Creed. 85 remaining at the paperclip.
You got to think Taylor Gray has had this race on his mind since we were here back in March, knowing how close he came to being able to win, and then obviously the contact with Sammy Smith, the last lap in the last corner. And it sure does look like the 54 is every bit as quick, if not better than what he was in the spring.
And we talked about the standings and how things would change if Mayer lost the lead. You know, he was showing locked in because he was out front. He drops now to 5 below the cut line. Jesse Love at +11. He came in at +40, but we know he's not had a great race car tonight. A lot of problems. And you see Carson Quapple continues on the move. He's at +6 and having a really good night.
And look at where Jesse Love is right now. He is sitting in 30th. He's gone backwards since the restart, trying to hold off Kyle Sieg and Garrett Smithley here. And it almost looks like he's holding them up.
Well, it's
in a lot of respects.
something's wrong. Something's not functioning right because
if
almost
Jesse
like
Love
the
actually
engine's actually not running well there.
For God.
Let's get an update on the 2, Kim.
Yeah, and if you think about Jesse Love coming into this race +40 as they run +10, they had no major big concerns. Right now, though, some serious concerns for the 2 as he continues to drop spots. But they told me they have to execute, and I said, what does that mean? They said keep their nose clean. Well, they've kept the car clean, but they have not kept clean is pit road. They had a speeding penalty, equipment interference that has put them considerably far back in terms of track position. Now, they have kept their heads under control. There's been no major blow-ups on the radio. Right now, though, crew chief Danny Stockman is telling him to wrap the bottom as best he can. Jesse not liking the handling of his race car.
And he is in jeopardy of going a lap down here in about 2 seconds to the leaders from him. As we look at Taylor Gray, look to the inside of Eric Almirola for the lead.
Taylor Gray going for his first win.
Had the sweep here last year. Taylor Gray could have easily won this race in the spring. A veteran and a rookie from Joe Gibbs Racing going at it for the top spot.
Well, it's really good here.
Sometimes 8 tires turn better than 4.
Think about the heartbreak and disappointment here at Martinsville for Taylor Gray. Last year in the trucks, had a chance to go to the championship 4, knocked out of the way. In position for his first career win in the spring, pushed aside on the final turn, trying to get the lead and take control with less than 80 remaining and getting after it in that inside lane.
And you gotta, if you're Eric, you're like, I don't mind you hitting me once, but it can't be every corner here. You see Eric's holding on the outside. It's such a hard pass when there's not a lot of tire fall off. That outside car can just generate so much momentum. Clearly the 54 is quicker at this time.
Contact.
But, they just keep having side-by-side contact.
And Eric's not playing nice in a lot of respects, squeezing him down there, trying to make it as hard as he can on him through the center of the corner, just not giving him the chance to unwind the wheel and get back to the throttle on the exit. That's
Ray is out of the playoffs.
Leverage, a little tap there as they go off in the brake zone for turn 1.
If he can have one more good set of corners, lap traffic's going to play a factor in this as well. If you look just ahead of these guys,
Yeah,
see the 99.
The 99, 45, Josh Williams.
Yeah, and it's going to just depend on what lane do those lap cars give these guys. They'll have to make the mind up. Normally at Martinsville, the lap cars will give you the bottom because it's the preferred lane, but got it settled out here. See what Eric can do in lap traffic.
Sometimes that's a smart move by Taylor Grader to slot back in behind Eric Morlow, looking at that traffic ahead, and also just try to cool your tires back down, give them a chance to have some new life, refire a little bit better as they catch this traffic. Jesse Love up the racetrack. He's now just 2 away from being lapped here.
That car in front of Jesse Love smoking going into turn 3. I couldn't see who that was. 2 car, though, just having a disastrous night between pit road and the handling of that car. You got to think something mechanically wrong with that car for him to be so far
gonna
off
get
the pace.
lapped? Almirola clears Taylor Gray.
Yeah, they're screaming to him, right? Like, just get all you can. If we can get a caution, it could change the whole complexion of this race.
Again, Jeremy Clements there has the right front on fire, the brake rotor.
Boy, this could be huge. Up, he's made it back, and looks like everything's going to continue on. That Love going to have to fight.
No doubt the spotter that's is screaming that there's brake parts all over the racetrack right now.
No doubt.
We need a caution to get that cleaned up.
Here's Almirola. Jesse Love came in 40 above the playoff front line. I would say
Clements to the garage
to the last couple of weeks, even though they've had top 10s in the round of 8, they've left points on the table, not finishing where they ran throughout the day. A little push from Almirola. Looking inside.
Not lapped.
And Jesse's
That's
eyes were going to the
embarrassing.
mirror, watching Almirola
like,
get close to him
so
there,
slow.
more than he was looking ahead.
But he's helpless.
Oh, yeah, he's just trying to hoping for any help whatsoever.
As we watch these guys race to the lead, both their cars are pretty comparable, but Jesse Love's he's struggling. Has nothing. Can't put the power down. It doesn't look like the car will turn through the middle. Just no speed in that car.
Came in here plus 40 to the cut line. All you needed was not a disastrous night.
This is a disastrous night. That's for damn
two
sure.
So far. Now down
Thankfully,
the
no one else is
He is
close
still in the free pass
points.
position if we were to get a caution right here, but as these leaders march on, they'll put others a lap down.
And what a battle for the lead. I mean, Almirola has executed so well through the lap traffic. Gray's been inside of him multiple times. And we flash to the 1 in his night, and he continues the climb after losing all of that track position when they made the pit stop, staying out to win the stage. Quapple is back to 16th, 6 above the cut line. And right now feels pretty good when you consider how this night has unfolded, and he's got more opportunities right in front of him.
Jesse Love's looking at his windshield. He sees those 2 cars in front of him, and he's looking at the gap in front of them. It's Daniel Dye who's in front because he'll be in that lucky dog position until they get to the 10 car. So if you're a 2-car fan, you still have a few laps before panic is really going to set in.
And
Connor Zilic has had a very bizarre day. Had the incident in practice, didn't qualify, comes from the back, didn't have a great race car. Thrown out some strategy, and he's now worked his way to 16th as he goes by the 1 of Carson Quapple, top of your screen. They continue to go at it for the race lead, Gray and Almirola.
It's an awesome battle up there at the front between these two. So evenly matched. I think Taylor Gray's a little bit faster, and we've seen that particularly the lap times often, but Eric doing an amazing job to utilize it outside when the 54 gets to the inside and just not giving him the chance to get the power down on the exit. He looks the inside once again, a little tap on the exit.
And the more the 19 can make the 54 use his carp on the bottom, the better his chances get as this race goes on. So Eric's going to give him the bottom, give him the room he needs, and we can tell the 54 is better, but if he slides in the car on the entry, if he slides it on exit, the more that happens, the 54 is going to start struggling a little bit. The 19 knows that.
Keep this in mind as well as you watch all these battles. Every position is a point. Quapple able to get around Dean Thompson. That gets him another point. He's at +6.
1, 2, 3
there's so much to watch
for
here.
Joe Kent's Racing.
Goes around Sam Mayer, so the 41 loses a point to the cut
Taylor
line.
Gray getting physical on the 19.
Gray trying to get the race lead from Eric Almirola.
And their teammate, Justin Bonsignor, really good at this racetrack. Won here on Thursday in the modifieds. Because they're running side by side, he's catching them. He's got a ways to go. He's 4 or 5 seconds back.
6 seconds.
But he's running 2 or 3 tenths quicker than those guys are right now.
Jokic Racing having a night. 4 Toyotas in the top 6. They occupy the top.
There they go. Bounce off each other again.
And I also look at this. We talk about Jesse Love in the free pass position. And they're coming up on Daniel Dye. They put him a lap down. And, boy, that's really going to make life difficult on Jesse Love.
Love will be fun. Oh, a little. Oh, maybe this. Almirola trying to find a better line and get around the 10.
Before there's a caution, if you're in Jesse Love's position, then you're really hoping to not see the 1 move forward. Maybe Brennan Jones, the 20 there, who's in 5th, being a chance to go win. Sam Mayer puts them in a position where they're not in control of their own destiny in a lot of respects.
I love Adam explaining the points to us as we go along. The best part for the drivers is that they can't see that because you
add to the stress.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you don't really know. You're going to get an update when the caution comes out. What about the 10 car? I mean, he's got such a decision to make right here.
Bouncing off each other again.
He's going to get down in front of him.
Almirola
That
clears.
makes his decision easy.
And he and Gray go to the inside.
Same thing.
And this pass
Gray
takes
gives him a bit
Jesse
of the
Love
bumper.
out of the free
And
pass
the
position.
pursuit
They go by
continues.
Mason Maggio, who was already a lap down. He's now 2 laps in arrears. 59 to go. Think about this, too. Sam Mayer running 4th, but they're on a different strategy. They cannot go all the way on fuel, so at some point they're going to have to pit. You just anticipate you're going to get cautions here, and that's what they're thinking when they stayed out to begin this final stage.
Caution.
And boom, there it is. Josh Williams brings out our 6th caution of the night, and now we'll see how things shake out from a strategy perspective. 58 to go.
We got a parking lot out here.
And he wasn't the only one. Brendan Poole got some of that, and so did Brendan Queen in the 11th.
Connor Zilich was there, stopped. They were almost all stopped at the bottom of the racetrack.
Queen, Poole, Zilich,
Brendan
Williams,
Queen came spinning
and Day.
down the track in front of a bunch of cars. Corey Day was stopped as well. So we see here Josh Williams on the
Harrison Burton
outside.
next to Josh Williams.
Oh, it's a
Poole
bump
gets
Poole
Queen
Queen
into Williams,
spins them both around,
and
and then you
Zilich
see here
and
just sort of a
Day
parking
run
lot.
into
Look
Brennan
at
Poole
the
as a result of that.
Barely misses that. That was just the accordion effect of all those guys racing and someone checking up in the middle.
And I hate this for Corey Day because he had been doing such a nice job of managing his race car and racing around really good cars, playoff drivers all night long, and he got caught up in that. He couldn't get through, but Quapple does. Watch that 17.
I don't know that Corey's got that much damage, though. It looked to me like Zilich actually maybe came out on the worst end of all that. We saw he had damage already in the left front. And Corey might have had a little contact with Brendan Poole, the 44 there.
Connor Zilich.
I don't like the fact that the race right before the championship that you could lose a little bit of momentum.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
Because they didn't. I mean, they had 18 consecutive top 5s, and now back-to-back where things have not gone their way.
Totally agree. It stinks. Like racing, momentum is everything in this, and he's had an incredible year, but you want to have that momentum heading into the championship race.
Momentum builds confidence. And even when you've had the season he's had, it's easy to lose a little bit of that confidence. And that's not what you want to have going into a single race to go win a championship.
Well, and that started from practice, right? Got behind in practice, had to start in the back. They've lost their pit selection where they maybe could have picked for next week at Phoenix. He talked about that earlier today, and now he finds himself in the gaggle of cars and got in trouble again.
Hey, by the way, Daniel Dye scored as the first car 1 lap down at the time of caution, so he gets the free pass. Jesse Love will stay 1 lap down. And look at our playoff standings right now. Quapple, where he runs on track at plus 11, is jumped in front of Jesse Love, who's plus 10 and 1 lap down. Now, I will say this. Cautions tend to breed cautions at this place. So an opportunity for Love to get back on the lead lap here, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Progressive Pit Road is open, and we have some takers. Here's Dylan.
Eric Almirola first went in, top of the screen, said he can't be looser into the corner, but he needs some center roll to help him wrap the curve. They'll make an adjustment for that. Sam Mayer wanted half of their last air pressure adjustment back that they made all the way Speedway back at the end of stage 2. And Taylor Gray, pretty happy with his car. Biggest message from Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief: don't beat ourselves on pit road. Do not speed, Kim.
See Justin Allgaier, bottom of your screen, all the way towards the exit of pit road is where his pit box is. Tight 2/3 mark at the corner. He was reporting, but he said lose his rear lateral. So Jim Pullman's going to free him up with an air pressure adjustment. He also mentioned a chassis adjustment. You just saw that. 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel.
And here's the race off Progressive Pit Road. Taylor Gray jumps in front of Eric Almirola.
That's what he needed.
Cars did stay out. Bonsignor comes off up there as well. So we'll sort through where everybody's going to restart. And watch this. Carson Boffel trying to hang on for a playoff, a spot in the championship 4, and nearly gets involved in this crash. Caution number 6 out is Martinsville. Restart when we return.
Yes. Hon, the weather tech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech. Okay, let's rewind. A freak hailstorm hit, cracking this group's windshield and causing the night to take an unexpected turn. Inside, they were greeted by Edna's warm welcome, a blank stare, be cool guy.
We're back.
Barely got him cleared
Taylor
right
Gray
here.
leads.
Gonna run
Sanchez
one more
second.
lap
Almirola
wide, make
third.
sure he's clear.
Jones fourth. Monsignor
That's gonna
fifth.
trap just
JTR
all
one.
over
Oh, two cars go wide. Allgaier. Oh!
Contact. This is what we talk about. Late restarts produce cautions. Only 6 so far
We're
tonight.
stuck on the
That's
outside.
half the average
Please
here
do not.
Since we started racing here once again in 2020. Teammates side by side. 41 is Mayer. 00 is Creed. The caution was big for Mayer because he was going to have to make a pit stop. Now he's got to get his work done on
Jimmy
track and
Smith
win
is
this
in
race
sixth.
if he's going to go to Phoenix.
Tell me to not lose all the points, like stage points I gained for fantasy. I'm in 18th.
Breakout right here, 3 wide. Allgaier gets trapped right
Ah!
there. Get back down in line.
Fuck.
Contact from Ellis. You've lost all your momentum. You're still 3 wide on the outside. So hard to get back down here at Martinsville.
Corey Day mixing it up in the 17.
Oh, got in front of Ellis. Got in front of Corey Day.
One here in the sprint.
Okay. Now we're in line. Now we just gotta
Definitely got a left front tire run right there. You see
Jimmy
that
Smith's up to
smoke down
5th
the corner.
now.
That's not brake lock up. That's from that fender being pushed in against the tire.
There's the 07, the car was trying to pass.
Look at this. Jeff Burton not happy.
Jeff, oh, there's Jeff. Is he gonna take out Mayer?
Bump a little run here.
Please, oh, please, it'd be funny if he took out. Do it! Do it! Come on! Take him out, you pussy!
Because he's in a good spot when you look at the leaderboard.
Take him out, you pussy!
You got to think they've learned, Sam, how
Come
frustrating
on.
the 27 was with him earlier in the race. Jeb kind of slowing down, just antagonizing him now. So London following through, trying to hang him out on the outside. You mentioned that there's multiple ways to get back at people. That's one of them.
That's not. We'll see what Sam Mayer's response is, if any.
And by the way, Jeff Burton's dad, Ward, celebrating a birthday today. You know, he'd love to pull into victory lane. The balance of patience and aggression. Coming to 40 laps to go. So much pushing and
Top
shoving.
3, JTR. One looking to get to the Camp 4. One looking just to get another, his third win at Martinsville in the last 4 Martinsville races. And a rookie looking for his first win.
If he's going to go to Phoenix and win the title.
And if you're Jesse Love's team, you're seeing this as well, thinking you do not want that 20 to suddenly be leading. He would be out of the championship 4 moving on to Phoenix.
Well, and I just think back to 2022. Brandon Jones is leading, and if he wins, he goes to Phoenix and gets pushed out of the way by his teammate Ty Gibbs, who goes on to win the title. How aggressive could he get here in the late laps with his own teammates? Meanwhile, right side of your screen, Quaffle continues to take care of business.
Well, we know Eric Almirola has been to victory lane this year, but the other car in front has never been to victory lane in the Xfinity Series, and I'll promise you, Taylor Gray's going to put up the fight of his life to keep Brandon Jones behind him. He's not worried about Brandon's season. He's worried about his year.
Well, and I look at Gray out front, and I think about non-playoff
Smith is
drivers
coming.
in the races in the round of 8. Almirola wins at Las Vegas last week. Austin Hill, could we make it 3 for 3? And Taylor Gray takes home the trophy. And right behind this trio of Toyotas at the front, Sammy Smith. He too going to need to find his way to victory lane the way it sits now if he's going to be able to make it to Phoenix, and he's running in his best position of the night. Got a pair of runner-up finishes here to Smith.
If you're Carson Quaffle, he's obviously had some of the best speed we've seen here tonight as he works on the 41 and the 48. Just needs to be methodical, not take too much risk. That was a smart move right there. Backed out of it, knew they were going to be 3 wide. Knows the situation. He's in a really good spot points-wise right now.
We were right there with Jesse Love, still a lap down. Back in the 32nd position for him right now. It's just survive and advance. And the guy just in front of him on the leaderboard at plus 12, Carson Quaffle. Here's the one radio running 10th.
Let's do a point. This guy seems pretty adamant. I don't pass him.
Good advice right there. Yep, you're in good shape. Didn't really tell him the exact situation.
Mayer
but
is probably
just letting him know we
fine.
got to get what we can
Quaffle
get, but take a
should
deep
be
breath.
fine. know,
good shape
Love
right
is
now.
wallowing in misery right now.
For Quapple here,
So
as they all
even
race
if
for
there's an outside
position,
winner,
they're
he should be
stacking up
fine.
behind him. And the patience continues to
Mayor
go
is trying to
away.
pass
You just
Sanchez
don't want to
if
be
he
a
can.
victim of circumstance here.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, the 48 is going to be the car that's going to be struggling here. On older tires, you see the ones gotten by him. Ryan C. going to follow through. They're going to try to leave Nick stuck
Quapple
on
clears
that outside.
Sanchez.
Tell you what, the 54 on the left is not driving away by any means. Saw how much better he was than Eric earlier in this run. All those Gibbs cars, though, I mean, just laid on top of one another right here. 4 of the top 5 from JGR.
They won 5 of the last 7 here. 6 of the last 10 is Joe Gibbs Racing. And we talk about Taylor Gray and his Martinsville
There's Brett Quapple
disappointments.
around.
Think back
And
to the last
Perez.
elimination race. Missed advancing by 1 point. 7th caution of the night for Parker Retzloff goes around.
This is big for Jesse Love, who was in the free pass position. You see Brad Perez also spun down the inside. He had stayed out and was kind of falling back there.
It's huge for Love because you get back on the lead lap and every position is a point.
Yep,
You know, he was trapped in a place where you can get no points. And now, I mean, you Four cars did come down pit road there. The best of those that gave up track position running 11th, Nick Sanchez. Boy, this 4-box really tells you a lot, doesn't it? The other thing to keep in mind here with 28 to go, you see how close things are for Quapple and Love. And they both have a 13-point cushion. But let's say Brandon Jones jumps up there, wins this race, and the battle at the bubble comes down to Quapple and Love. You go to best finish in this round. Carson Quapple was second last Saturday at Talladega. So he's in a really good spot. Should he be involved in a tiebreaker? Don't know how this race is going to unfold, but I would tell you that he's in a good position to get the tiebreaker should it come down to that, and he's involved.
Yeah, good job. Proceed to full attack mode. Yep, copy. So what's up?
I would also tell you, when you look at our standings, we've already factored in the Xfinity fastest lap, and that could change between now and the end of the race, but right now that belongs to Justin Allgaier, so it's not a factor right now as you think about where everybody runs in regard to the standings and who could advance. And you think about this guy, Taylor Gray. We talk about the heartbreak, not advancing to the round of 8. The heartbreak of Martinsville. We rewind to the springtime. Final lap. Looks like he's going to get his first career victory. Sandy Smith gets him. Austin Hill drives through for the improbable win.
And he really had been dominant in stage 3 of that race. They had gotten together a restart before that. He repaid the favor. in one of the more delicate ways that you could do that. I felt like in a lot of respects they were even, and then obviously there was the move by Sammy Smith down into turn 3 in the final lap that took him out.
You have to be closer than that to make that move. Yes, you've got to be within a half a car length. Yeah, it's just so hard to come from 3 or 4 car lengths back and do that, and not. I mean, obviously he wrecked himself in the process of it. So hopefully we can run out green here. 26 laps to go. You got to know chaos is getting ready to break out.
People love stock car racing because there's the idea of contact. That is allowed. There's fenders on these race cars, but there's contact that's sort of being aggressive, and then there's over the top. That, at the end of that race, was over the top. What we've seen here tonight often has been the right level of contact that you expect from stock cars on a tight half-mile paperclip.
We've done the choose. Front row, a driver looking for his first career victory. The driver looking to win for a 3rd time at Martinsville. Gray and Almirola. 2 drivers that have to win tonight if we're going to the championship 4 behind them. Jones and Sammy Smith.
Green. Here we go. We're green. Martinsville. Okay. Don't remember the great restart.
If those guys run side by side, we've seen it all night long. That lead car gets checked out. He can get a little bit of a buffer right here. Huge restart for him.
Brandon Jones restarted
Almirola going for second.
Racing his
Sammy
teammate.
Smith behind them in 4th. Sammy Smith diving onto the inside.
Not a lot of room there. Sammy Smith
He gets the inside of Jones, though.
He said it's time to go.
Gives it a little push. That's enough. Ooh, to the inside. The 8 goes. And he gets 3rd. 3 wide for 4th. With 5th. Oh, we got a car around. Waffle!
Carson Quapple out of line. 8th caution of the day.
What a turn of events for the 2 versus the 1 right there.
And look at the difference now on our leaderboard.
Wow. Still a long ways to go.
But we know how hard it has been for so many cars that have been at the back to make their way through the field. There's not been a ton of tire fall off tonight.
Damn it, man. I like Quapple.
So let's take a look back at this. It's Ryan Sieg. Oh, he's got locked up. He's being pushed by Harrison Burton a little bit. Goes up the track.
I think Sieg pulled down to block Harrison Burton. Burton got into the back of Sieg, and then that forced him into the 1.
You can see the left front locked up. He's trying to stop it. And Carson was really just the unlucky recipient.
You know, you talk about those drivers that are thinking win, and now the mindset changes maybe for Brandon Jones. Look at this. They can get me to the checkered flag, and now it's like, wait a minute here. Now all of a sudden points become a real possibility to advance because Jones goes from below the cut line to +3. Quapple from 9th falls deeper in the field. He's -8. It's just crazy how things always seem to get out of hand late. But
look how tight it is now.
But here's what I would say as well. Quapple, as we said earlier, has the tiebreaker, number 1. And number 2, he falls to 30th. So there's a lot of cars in front of him to go and pass. Every position is a point.
There is, Adam, but we saw with Zilich early in the race.
Couldn't go anywhere.
He didn't just drive up through the field. That's a little different at the end of the race because there are going to be some wounded cars. Guys might be a little more willing to know what you have on the line, maybe not race you quite as hard, but it's not a given that he's going to pass 8 cars in the next 21 laps.
And there's another car lurking here in 5th that we haven't talked about a whole lot tonight, but he's definitely in a must-win position. That's Sheldon Creed, who's also up there. He's been close to winning here before. He's finished 2nd 15 times. Could tonight be the night? Let's take a listen to Carson Quapple's radio.
We're 29th right now. Everything, you're 8 points below. Everything is a position to get forward. We need to get as many positions as possible.
I think the good news for them is that there's a lot of cars on the lead lap. It's not like you're the tail end and you only have 15 cars on the lead lap. There are some slower cars back there, but it was hard for his teammate Zilich to pass earlier in this race. I don't think we've seen the end of the contact, though. When you look at Brandon Jones, who's up front, Sammy Smith, knowing how aggressive all these guys are going to be on the restarts, one of those guys could end up spun out just as well on one of the next couple of restarts that we have. So a lot's going to change in the next 10 minutes of this race.
Boy, you load up and you're thinking for those guys that were in row 2 at the restart, Sammy Smith and Brandon Jones, just go win this race, win your way to Phoenix, and then one hiccup for the one car, Carson Quapple, who gets turned, and it changes the game. And the other thought is, as you go back and you start thinking about the battle for the race lead, another restart for Gray with Almirola probably on the front row with him. Let's get an update. Team radio, Brandon Jones riding fourth prior to the choose.
There's a chance we could beat them both on points, because right now we're barely up on him. If he gets one spot, he would get the tiebreaker. So right now, I want you thinking about going for the win and beating the A car in the process.
And I think that sums it up perfectly. You don't want to muddy the waters in his position with how close it is. 1 point right there. And he's so close at the front of the field, currently sitting in fourth. You got to be focused on trying to win right here. That's the easiest option. If you have to fall back in points, you hope if you were going for the win, you can finish somewhere in the top 5, top 3, and that should hopefully get it done for you.
This choose is going to be huge. We saw the launch that Taylor Gray got the last time. Oh, my Lord, he's going to have Sammy Smith behind him. I mean, that's got to make you nervous. Knowing I'm having flashbacks. Knowing what happened 6 months ago.
Hey, I'm thinking tiebreaker here, and you look at the guys in row 2. If they were to end up tied, likely the tiebreaker would be their finish here tonight, because that would probably be their best finish in the round. So, I mean, you're racing for positions and points, and then you also, at the end of the night, could be racing for the best finish in the round, which would be the tiebreaker to send someone to Phoenix.
Taylor needs another restart like he had on the previous one to get out and then hopefully get the 8.
Reload real quick. I feel like I'm missing something.
Launch when we get down to turn 1. Do not be surprised to see the 8 give him a little bit of a nudge over here.
It'll be 17 laps to go. Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas on the front row. Taylor Gray trying to win for the first time.
Here we go. Green, green, green. Taylor Gray,
Not
good
quite
start
as big
again.
a jump, but it was good.
Good launch, though. Good launch off turn
Smith.
2.
Yeah, it's trying to stick to the inside
Get
of
those guys side by side
Almirola.
right here. It's going to be what the 54 needs.
Gray was hoping his teammate Almirola could slide down, create a little buffer. So far, 19 still hung in that outside lane. Crossover move. Brandon Jones can't get below the 8.
Still can't clear Almirola.
He was just trying to slot to the bottom there. I think he's going to pull it off here, and that caused a lot of congestion between Sheldon Creed and Sam Mayer.
You got to
Smith right in the 19 up. Whoa, almost clear.
In March, and once again, these two running.
Oh, look, it's Taylor Gray's best friend. Almost clear for second. Almirola not letting him get away, but he's clear. Sammy Smith now is 1 car away from him in a win and advancing to the Champ 4.
Can he work the 54 over?
Think about that.
54 is going to be pissed if he gets turned by the same move by the same car. It's the same track where he was leading both times at the end of the race. That's for damn sure.
And Brandon Jones, tiebreaker right now, goes to Sammy Smith. Running second, that would be the best finish of the round. But in front of Brandon Jones is his teammate, Eric Almirola.
Should let him by.
Going on, 13 to go.
The 54 is not driving in deep, which is great. It's getting a really good launch. But what makes me nervous is that they're stacked up behind him. Not quite as quick as he was earlier in the race. We'll see as this run goes out, can the 54 build a little bit of a cushion? He's definitely going to want more than what he has right now if it comes down to the last lap. But it slowly looks like that lap. Let's see, yeah, about a 10th quicker that lap. If he can put together 2 or 3 of those, Parker, he's going to be in great shape.
And you can see Sammy Smith is pushing right
Taylor
now.
Gray is pulling away.
Down to turn 1,
Jesse
it's
Love
wiggling around and
is
moving.
gonna
Almost
lead
locking
lap,
the
I
rears
can't
as
even
Carson Quapple goes by Jesse Love at the bottom left of your screen.
And they're going to have to update Sammy Smith on this, because if he gets 2 more cars, he's
Wide like that. 3 wide in front of a Quapple. Oh, man. Ow! The 32 got launched. Quapple's gained some more spots.
Or gave a huge shot down there. See Carson
trying to get by Perkins now.
Right here. That is for position. Perkins is on the lead lap.
Look at the points.
Quapple is now on the plus side. +0.
It's now Jones and Quapple.
Got the Haas teammate shooting it out for the 5th position right now.
Third, he needs to get a position.
While all this is going on, Taylor Gray, another 2/10 quicker than Sammy Smith. Looks like his car's really going along.
Quapple bouncing Kyle C out of the way. The Night Owl's forward.
Screen, Taylor Gray leading this race. Bottom left, Quapple trying to pick him off and make his way.
Run like a man possessed. Oh, he's going to get Daniel Dye too. Oh, man.
almost got turned there by Kalsik right into the door of Carson Quapple. He's now +2, driving for everything he's got right now.
And Carson doesn't want to see a caution. He's got a good car. Look at the position he's in right now.
8 to go, by the way.
Taylor Gray wins this race because he's now in that position he needs to make Phoenix next weekend. It's been a great restart, great transition for him through this run.
Well, you think about the rhythm. This is such a rhythm place, and he has found it here.
Oh, don't make him mad, Carson. You're in good position. You've got what you need right now.
You're at +2.
7 laps to go. He's up 9 spots from this restart. We talked about how hard it was to move forward. He's trying to move Patrick Star-Foley.
Give him a little bit of a
Brandon
shot.
Jones has caught up to
the
Sammy
racetrack.
Smith.
Left to your screen. They are racing for second.
Quapple gets Star-Foley. Dive gets into Star-Foley. Knocking him out of the group.
We continue green. Going to be 5 laps to go this time around.
Wow! Quapple runs been and Alfredo is trying to get by
These two
Snyder.
probably don't even know that what's happened here at the points, and Carson Quapple moving forward. Their eyes are set on trying to catch that 54 of Taylor Gray, who's about 1 second ahead of Brandon Jones right here.
No! Come on! Daniel Dye brings out the 9th caution. We're going to overtime.
Likely sets up an overtime scenario, and the drama continues to unfold.
Well, you got to look. Sammy Smith in that 3rd position. We'll see. It's going to be so interesting because Brandon Jones chooses the inside. It's his teammate. I mean, I think you have to choose the inside. No one, you have to. No one, the outside hasn't been able to get the lead all night long.
You give up the front row, right? And then Sammy Smith can jump up there and try to make something happen for the front row. So much to think about here.
I was really impressed with Sammy Smith, though, on the last restart. I thought that was going to be his chance to get the lead, make it to Phoenix. I thought an exceptional job, not using anybody up. But now we're going to get into this green-white checkered time, and the rules change a little bit from driver code of what's going to be on the line, especially for Brandon Jones. As we take a look at Daniel Dye, looks like he had a cut tire. There's a lot of contact earlier. You talked about it. Parker almost got turned directly into Carson.
What a job by Quapple. I mean, you talked about the advancement he made, Parker. You have that spin, and you lose what was a comfortable advantage over the playoff cut line, and it puts all this pressure on you. And he went out and just drove his heart out to get to +2, and that's where he'll be restarting. He'll be 19th prior to the choose. Here's Brandon Jones radio sitting 2nd right now.
The way it sits, it is going to be a must win. The 1 car's in on points right now. Copy.
Makes the goal simple, right? You know, they talked about the points and still going for the win. And I think in his position, it's just really the only way right now, how close it is amongst him and Carson Quapple, and knowing Carson's probably going to get more spots here, he just has to think he has to win this race right now.
Well, I mean, we've showed the highlights of what happened here in the spring. 4 of the last 7 races at Martinsville featured a last lap pass for the win.
What a battle. It's always so much fun in this format when you get to these cutoff races, how the guys that have to do it always seem to find their way in the position that they can do it right at the very end every year.
I know people think like, oh, how do they do that, whatever. It's just when you put in this pressure cooker of the playoffs in this situation, it's amazing how these race teams and drivers just find that next level performance. Maybe you haven't run great at Martinsville before, or you needed to find something different the last time, and somehow, to your point, they all sort of end up there because the cream rises to the top. Why are they in that position? Because this is some of the best cars in the series all year long that are put in a position to have to go and find extra level performance, and they're able to do it.
Look at some of the players here, and one of them not seen. Sheldon Creed, 5th prior to the choose. Austin Hill was 5th late in the springtime and eventually won the race when we had mayhem break out in turns 3 and 4. Let's get a little Carson Quapple radio here.
These things go crazy here at the end. You got to be aggressive and get everything you can. You cannot lay up right now. You're doing awesome. We're making up for a mistake. I know you can get by a lot of these guys up here.
Just got to be careful doing it. I agree. You got to be on the offense, but you got to be careful. The stack ups on the restarts. Probably choosing on the bottoms a little bit of a safer place. Oh, Brandon. He did it. It's going to be fun to watch.
Sammy Smith able to get the front row on the restart as Jones goes inside and takes row 2. We're going to overtime, 2-lap shootout.
The guy in 6th won last time we went into one of these. All those guys got together. Austin Hill was in 6th, ended up being the eventual winner.
I actually think it would have been tougher for Carson Quapple to choose the bottom. He actually ended up taking the outside. Just give yourself a little bit of a chance to get away from some of the stack up that can happen on the bottom, knowing how tight it is.
2-lap shootout. Caution comes out before we see the white. We re-rack, do it all again. Once the white flag comes out, next flag ends the race.
Another good restart here for Taylor Gray. He's the best one he's had all night. It up. Yeah.
Here we go. Overtime presented by Credit One Bank. It's Taylor Gray.
Here we go. Green, green, green. Overtime.
Pretty good launch for him. Really good. That's exactly what he needed.
Yeah, he
Like
needs
Taylor Gray looks like he's going to get a clean getaway. Sammy Smith clears Brandon Jones off of turn 2.
On the spring, what we're getting ready to watch right here.
Reed running around the outside to trying to get the 3rd. Here we go. White flag. Last lap at Martinsville.
Can he get closer? Still a big enough gap.
Taylor Gray leads. Quapple showing +4.
And they come off at 2. Coming to the turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Gray is not going to get screwed today. Off of turn 4. Taylor Gray is an Xfinity Series winner. Carson Quapple should make the race. Should now make it.
Quapple ends up 18th.
Oh, 18th. Was that good?
Unofficially, will make it by 4 points. He got over the 20.
Glove and Quapple advance.
I think you have to appreciate how clean all that was. Like, it was really hard racing by all those guys. An awesome job. We've been critical of them. Everybody's been critical, I think, of the Xfinity Series in general. Awesome job tonight, guys.
I was just going to say, applaud the whole
Where did Allgaier end up?
There was so much up for grabs.
So happy for that guy right there. He deserved here in the spring. He definitely does. I think he's as fair as they come inside the car. Almost reminds you of an Allgaier. Doesn't not overly aggressive, but has a lot of speed. Really cool to see him get his first win. And I think fitting to come here based on what happened earlier this year.
It owed him maybe not 1, but 2. Because you consider what happened in the Truck Series race here a year ago. Way to go, Taylor Gray. And here's the
I lost all the points I gained on him.
Because every win deserves something sweet. And so do you. Head to your local Krispy Kreme on Monday to get an original glazed dozen for only $12 with the code BURNOUT. Joe Gibbs Racing has won 6 of the last 8 here. 7 of the last 11. Non-playoff drivers go 3-0 in the round of 8. Unofficially, Carson Quapple gets the final spot in the championship 4. Once we get official word there, we'll let you know.
Final 4.
But he's showing +4 on our leaderboard right now.
That's the most emotion we've ever seen out of Taylor Gray. It's really cool to see how excited he is. I cannot wait to hear his interview.
And the bottom right of your screen is Sammy Smith. Such a mature decision there throughout those last 2 laps.
Yep.
To not take what was on offer, to learn from what he did here in the spring, to know that was too far. He was in the exact same position, had the exact same opportunity, and chose not to do what he did in the spring.
And it's now official. We have our championship 4. We knew about Connor Zilic, Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love hangs on. He goes to the championship 4 for the first time in his career. And so does Carson Quapple. 2 rookies going to Phoenix, and 3 of the 4 coming from Junior Motorsports. What an effort by him after the spin to come back and put himself in championship position.
You got to think that guy right there is going to have like a beer and a cigarette when this thing's over. Right? I mean, like after the night he had. Wow.
But this format is all about survive and advance. And Jesse Love does it. And Taylor Gray picks up his first career victory. What an awesome night for him down to Dillon.
And the coolest part about this is just how excited all his crew members and everybody is for this guy who has worked so hard. Hey, was the wait worth it? Does it feel as good as you imagined to finally be here in Victory Lane?
Gosh, about damn time I get me a clock, baby! Woo!
There we go.
Man.
I need my push interviews like that, man.
Man, I cannot thank everybody on this 54 team. Such an awesome race car. Way faster, way faster. I'm not going to say than Xfinity Mobile, but just as fast.
I think you just did.
I know. My bad, Xfinity. Man, Jason Ratcliffe, all these guys, the pit crew did an awesome job tonight. Everybody on this crew bring awesome race cars to this racetrack and give me an opportunity to race for one every time I come here.
All right, there's maybe no better place on the schedule than Martinsville for Taylor Gray to get his first Xfinity Series win. Kim?
And welcome to the championship for Carson Quapple, but it wasn't for a fight there at the end. Late race spin, you had to battle. Was that some of the hardest racing you've done in your career?
It was probably the most nerve-wracking racing I've done in my career. Obviously, we were sitting in a pretty good spot before we got turned around there, and I thought we were in a good situation to just kind of ride it out and try not to make any enemies and just try to finish the race out. And
we finished 26.
Once we got turned around there, I'm not sure. It might have been my fault. I really don't know. I haven't seen a replay, but when that happened,
fuck you, Corey Day!
Yeah, this whole number one group really fought hard all race long to give us a opportunity to get to the spot to be in the Final Four, and I just can't thank them enough for that. But like I said, everyone, thank you. Like I said, all the guys brought me a Cars Fast Xfinity Mobile at Martinsville here, and I thought our Bass Pro, Johnny Morris Bass Pro Shops Clarence Chevrolet was on rails all day. It's just that first stage didn't really go the way we wanted it to. I thought we were going to have a little bit better pace than that and bank some stage points, but we weren't able to do that, and we had to do that in stage 2, which put us in a hole for stage 3. But it all worked out, so definitely happy and gonna be really excited going to Phoenix.
What is this team capable of at Phoenix?
Man, I think the sky's the limit for these guys. Obviously, I feel like our season hasn't been the flashiest and the most winning and the most popular, right? But we've been consistent week in and week out, and we come to these racetracks and we might not win, but we only have one DNF the whole season, and we just outpoint the guys and do the best we can on that end of things. But I mean, you never know. It's all comes down to one race, right? At the worst, you have a 25% chance of winning the championship, right? So I like those odds a lot better than being out. But like I said, just can't thank all these guys. Can't thank Dale Jr., Kelly L.W. Miller, everyone at the big shop for what they do to get me in this situation, and just super excited.
Carson Quapple will race for a title next weekend at Phoenix.
He's a blue-collar guy, and he put in a blue-collar performance here tonight. Rolled up his sleeves, went to work, and he's going to go run for a championship. So it's Zilich, Allgaier, Love, and Quapple that go to the Desert Mile with a title on their mind. Brandon Jones misses out by 4 points. Sammy Smith, a runner-up tonight, missed it by 5. Sam Mayer hung in there all night long, eventually comes home 8 points short. And Sheldon.
So that does it for today. Tomorrow is the Cup race, which is going to be a nervous wreck. Can't wait for that, though. Thanks, everyone who showed up.